To be honest, I had this like blind belief throughout my life that I would always just be fine. And like, thank goodness, touch wood, like I have been mostly fine. And I always just thought, I'll buy a house one day, you know, it'll just be something that happens to me. And and then I guess, yeah, at a certain point I sort of realised I don't really know if it's serving me to stay here anymore. And all of my family and my connections are back in WA. And I think like a lot of people are having the same realisation though, but who could blame them? Perth's a beautiful place. So yeah, so I moved back at the beginning of last year and haven't looked back.
The Get Rich Slow Club podcast is a collaboration between Tash Etchman from Tash Invest and Anna Christina from Perla. The Get Rich Slow Club acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land we record on. From coast to coast, across land, waters and communities, we pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. Any advice is general and does not consider your financial situation, needs or objectives, so consider whether it's appropriate for you.
Welcome to the Get Rich Slow Club podcast,
where we take you from beginner to confident investor,
where we can teach you everything you need to know about investing.
So come get rich slow with us.
Hello and welcome back. I'm here with Brooke from Brooke Moves.
Hello.
I am so excited. I saw your YouTube videos pop up randomly a few weeks ago and it was all about house hunting in Perth and they were just very entertaining.
Oh, that is such a huge compliment, honestly, especially coming from you, absolute queen of the finance and property world, especially here in Perth.
Yes.
What a Perth icon.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful to be here.
We're going to chat about so many fun things about how you moved from Sydney to Perth, how you're looking for a property, how you're saving, all that stuff. But first, money win or money loss?
Okay. I got a lot of money losses, so I'll share one with you. I'm still paying for it to this day, literally. And I, to be honest, am in denial about how much longer I've got to go and continue paying for it. It is like parking fine related.
Oh, I'm bad at this.
I basically thought that I was onto this genius hack in Sydney. And when I was like running late for work, I would just like drive my car in and I was like finding all of these secret parking spaces around the city. And I would like go into work and be like, guys, I've got the biggest car park hack you've ever heard of. And I would like tell my like secret spots thinking I was getting around because I would never get a paper fine like on my windscreen, nothing like that. And I thought, oh no, sort of getting away with all of these, you know, sneaky little parks. And I did that for ages. I did that for probably like over a year.
Oh no.
I think we can all tell where this is going.
Yeah.
One day I get a letter in the, oh no, I didn't get a letter in the mail. I'll tell you how I found out that I was going up against the law. I got pulled over one time. I was like driving myself and my housemate down to the beach, got pulled over by the police, by the boys in blue. And they were like, your license is actually suspended.
What? Because of parking fines?
Because I had so many parking fines that they cancelled my license. And he's like, you can't drive because you don't have a license anymore. And I thought, oh my God, how am I going to get around? So for 6 months, I had to catch the bus and the tram everywhere I went, which was, you know, it's fine. People have it much worse than that. But I had to go and plead my innocence in court and everything.
Did you go to court?
I had to go to court.
Why didn't you, did they not send you any letters or anything?
Well, the thing was I had changed address a few times and I had like been really good with keeping up to date, but I think the system is like delayed sometimes. So I wasn't getting any warning letters or anything. And yeah, I had to fully go to Waverley Court and speak to a judge and say, like, explain my situation.
Did you have to pay for them?
And so I can't even remember how much it was, but it was thousands of dollars worth of fines that I had. And they basically said, like, what are you doing to pay them off? And I had already organised to go on a payment plan. And so I'm still paying $50 a fortnight.
Oh, my God.
And, yeah, so I see it come out of my account every fortnight. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to have to be paying that off, but probably a really long time. So.
Wow. I think that's the best money loss I've heard. Crazy. I love the honesty.
So learn from my mistakes, I would say.
Nothing is ever free.
No, nothing's ever free. And also I wasn't up to date with how like high tech the Sydney parking thing was. Like you can just do it like online or through an app. You get fines by the app as well. So
you've unlocked one of my biggest fears. Like I still have a lot of my mail sent to my parents' house because I don't want it to get lost and then turned up with a terrible credit rating for missing a payment or something. But crazy. What an experience.
So I survived that one. But the amazing thing was once because obviously when I had my day in court, when I had my day on the stand, I was surrounded by genuine hardcore criminals, like people that had been caught with drugs in their car and committing awful crimes, and I had to sit and listen to what all these other people had been, all the crimes that they had been committing allegedly. And so when I got up there, I obviously looked like a little gorgeous angel because I had just missed a few parking fine payments. So and then once I left, the judge said you can get back out there. You can get back out on the roads now.
Free to drive. You're free to go. Wow.
Thank God. Let's take day off work and everything. It was a whole saga.
Money lost there as well. Yeah. My money went's very boring in comparison. I got an email from AGL and they were saying that I can get $10 off if I sign up to the app. Oh. So I downloaded the app and I got $10.
That's amazing. That's a huge win. Opposites,
yeah.
That's huge. 10 schmackos is 10 schmackos.
Yeah, $10.
I would be throwing a little party.
Yes. I want to hear a little bit about what money was like for you as a kid. What were your parents like with money and what were money conversations like in your household?
Yeah, well, I would say, to be honest, and I've learned how big of a privilege this is having had conversations with other people my age now, we didn't really talk about money at all. And my parents, if they had any financial woes, my brother and I wouldn't have known about it. So there was never a conversation really about money that I can remember at all. But I did call my mum, Leanne, who does feature in some of our videos earlier, just to see, just to make sure that my memory was correct. And she was like, yeah, we didn't really, money wasn't a conversation in our household necessarily, but what we did put focus on was making sure we always had enough and that we were always together. And I think that sort of came through in that my dad never did FIFO, and mum really didn't want that because she wanted to keep the family together. And then she said we never went to babysitters or anything like that because she wanted to be around us all the time. So there was sort of this focus on keeping us together and making sure we never felt like we were going without anything. And we did get to do a lot of hobbies. We had horses and stuff like that.
Horses. Oh, wow.
We did. Yeah. So yeah, we weren't having money chats, but I think the fact that we weren't also probably has formed part of how I see money myself.
Yeah, it's not been stressful for you so far.
Yeah, totally. To be honest, I had this blind belief throughout my life that I would always just be fine. And thank goodness, touch wood, I have been mostly fine. And I always just thought, I'll buy a house one day, it'll just be something that happens to me.
Yeah, just go to a home open and buy it.
Exactly. I thought that'll happen to me at some point. I'm not really worried about it. So, and yeah, it's enormous privilege to be able to say I've never had housing stress or stress about being able to afford food or any of the essentials. So massive privilege. But I guess that's a huge benefit of the way that I got raised.
Yeah, definitely. How did you even learn about saving to buy a house or saving in general?
I think to be honest, I have not always been very responsible with money, and in some ways I probably still not. But I think it became more clear that I needed to put more focus on it when I did sort of enter my 30s. I'm 32 now. Or maybe late 20s, I guess, when I was living in Sydney and definitely not getting anywhere financially. And then I guess the cost of living got higher, and then I was like, holy dooly, maybe I'm never going to be able to afford a freaking house. What the hell? And that's sort of when I started to think all right, I need to really start taking it a bit more seriously. And then I started trying to save in Sydney, and it didn't really go well because it's virtually impossible. Everything's so expensive. I was living in a share house with 3 other people and paying $400 a week just for a room.
Crazy. Yeah, it's getting wild.
And sharing a bathroom with 2 other people. And yeah, I'm and plus I do triathlon as a sport, which is kind of expensive, bikes are expensive and races and whatnot. And that's I love to do that for community and for fitness and health and stuff. And yes, I could sacrifice and not do that, but I don't know, I want a life where I am able to do things like that help me enjoy my lifestyle.
And not just go to work and then go home and that's
exactly. It. Ugh, what a snooze. And I probably would be depressed if I didn't have those sorts of things.
Let's go back a little bit. When did you decide to move to Sydney? Because that's kind of a big, for people from Perth, I know we always want to escape and go somewhere else, but it's still a big move to leave and move to Sydney.
Yeah, so I moved over east, as a lot of people in WA say.
I've been saying, yeah. So funny when I speak to people who are in Melbourne and they're over east.
Yeah. It's all the
Like,
same
that's
place.
all of you.
Yeah. And that's like Queensland right the way down to Tasmania. Like it's the whole place.
Anywhere that's not Perth or Adelaide.
Exactly, yeah. So I decided to move over east in 2017, and because I have a degree in like media, and Sydney is sort of the epicenter of media in terms of if you want to grow your career. So I decided in 2017 that I would make that move to Sydney. And yeah, I stayed there for 7 years and was able to sort of grow my career and get things out of like my professional development that I was hoping to. And then I guess, yeah, at a certain point I sort of realised I don't really know if it's serving me to stay here anymore. And all of my family and my connections are back in WA, and I love WA. It's a beautiful place.
Yes.
And so much more relaxed, and the beaches are beautiful, and
The roads are wider and there's no toll roads. And
low-key, the people aren't as big of a wankers as they are in Sydney.
I would like to move back to Perth soon, I think, but putting it out there into the universe.
I think like a lot of people are having the same realisation though, and driving our property prices up.
Sorry.
But who can blame them? Perth's a beautiful place. So yeah, so I moved back at the beginning of last year and haven't looked back.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What are you earning at the moment?
I am earning just over 100 grand,
Okay.
I think like 106 potentially.
Amazing. So you moved back. You moved in with your parents to save money?
I moved in with my parents to save money, and they have not been charging me any rent, thank goodness.
Thank you, Leanne. Is it Leanne? Yeah.
Thanks, Leanne and Terry. Shout out to you guys. And they have a gorgeous little place on the beach as well. So it's an absolute dream. So I'm very lucky to be able to live there. And yeah, I've been working fully remote for the same company that I was working with in Sydney.
Amazing. And you
Pretty
managed
lucky.
to save 50 grand, was it?
Yes, I've saved 50 grand. I did have more, but my dog broke his leg about 6 weeks ago.
Oh, no.
And so that sort of, I had sort of closer to 60, but
Did you have pet insurance at all?
no, I didn't, because my reason is, and I should have got onto it sooner, but when he was like under 1 year old, he broke his leg then as well. And so
What kind of dog is it? Is he like active or is it just...
he's just like a tiny, tiny poodle.
Okay.
So he's like 2 kilos. So he's like fragile. He's got tiny little chicken bones for legs, which is very adorable until it comes to like, injuries, and then it's absolutely catastrophic. So yeah, I never got health insurance for that reason, and I definitely regret it.
Yeah, I don't own any animals or pets because I don't want to deal with that at the moment personally. But yeah, looking at it, it just seems so expensive.
Very expensive.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
get a really sturdy dog. You gotta get a dog
With solid legs.
Get like a bulletproof dog,
Okay.
like put it in a little vest, and
I'll have to Google that later. Strongest dog breeds, least likely to break.
you need
Crazy.
like my boyfriend's got a Kelpie cross German Shepherd, and it's been like bitten by a snake, run over by a car. It's been through so much, and it's still absolutely
fine.
and he's doing great. So
Definitely a thing to think about when you get an animal. Are
We'll look
they
into
likely
that.
to get ill or break their legs? Brutal,
Yes.
but
definitely something to think about.
okay, so you've got 50 grand saved up. You've been living with your parents, which is amazing. What kind of house prices are you looking at, or where have you been looking?
Well, to be honest, I've been looking all over the place because I wanted to have a really good idea of what's out there. And while I have the benefit of working remotely, I can work from anywhere. My partner, he works in the city. So, and we obviously love each other. We want to live together.
We obviously love each other. Obviously, he's fine.
It's great. Like, I'm with him for a reason, So we do sort of want to like, in an ideal world, we want to live together. Like, is that crazy to say? I don't think so. And so we've been looking all over the place, all like far out to the outskirts in Armidale, all the way down to like Falcon, Dawesville, which is like a few hours south, and plus like in the city, like Freo, and I've been looking like up Wembley way as well. I'm not like super fussy on location, but my partner kind of is, because he is really digging his heels in about having to commute. Like
He just want to commute 2 hours a day.
he doesn't want to commute 2 hours a day, and I'm like, come on.
We have
like,
a beach shack down the south maybe.
I think he's being very selfish with that one.
Yeah.
I actually fell totally in love with this beach shack down in Falcon, and it was absolutely beautiful, like dream house. But yeah, when it came down to it, I was like, it's just like,
You can just hop on the train.
and yeah, exactly.
We'll drive to the train and then hop on the train.
Exactly. You need to make it work.
Yeah.
But the other thing, as a first home buyer, you have to live in the house for 6 months in the first year that you buy it. And so it needs to be somewhere where I can at least live for 6 months, which is a bit of a tricky one.
Have you been looking at investments, or you're not considering that because you want to live in it first?
Well, ideally, I would love to have an investment house, but my partner's got an investment house.
Okay.
And so he's doing great. He's renting it out to this gorgeous older lady and it's amazing. And I would love to pull off something similar, but to be able to access the first home buyer scheme, you obviously have to live in it. I just don't know if I'd be able to afford an investment property without gaining access to the first home buyer scheme, which would mean I would have to live there for 6 months, which means I need to get somewhere that's close enough to the city so that my partner can commute sort of thing. And it's a lot of people tell me just buy regionally, buy somewhere in the outskirts and rent it out. And in theory, definitely that's a great idea. But practically on paper, I'm I physically don't know how I would be able to make that happen at the moment. And also the price that I have access to at the moment with my current deposit is 400 grand and under.
Yeah, okay.
Which really limits my, you open realestate.com and there's 3 places in that price range and one of them's in a caravan park.
Yep.
And you've got that or a retirement village.
Yes. I've been looking at the retirement villages. They look quite lovely.
Oh, they look great.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just think I'm a little bit young to move in.
Not just yet. Maybe a few years' time.
In a few years' time. Yeah, so I'd love to invest, but I just don't know how I'd be able to get in.
Have you spoken to a mortgage broker?
I've got a gorgeous mortgage broker. His name's Brian. Shout out to you, Brian.
Yay, Brian.
I'm sure he watches your content. And he's awesome. He's got his finger on the pulse and he's great. But yeah, I mean, I've only got so much savings at the moment. And yeah.
And you're also not going to be paying a massive mortgage as well.
That's the other thing. So if I made use of the new property price cap for Perth, which is 850 grand, and I made use of the 5% deposit and put my 50 grand down, I would still be paying over $1,200 a week, which I can't really afford that.
No.
And I also, like I said before, I still want to be able to have my hobbies and maybe I want to pop over to Bali every now and then. I want to be able to do stuff and I want to be able to afford, with the cost of living going through the roof, I'm already shopping at Aldi. I'm banking up my Qantas points, trying to save up as much as I can. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like I've got my hands tied a little bit at the moment, but I'm not losing hope. For some reason, I remain optimistic.
I love the positivity.
So, yeah.
Are you buying with your partner or this is just going to be your house?
It'll be my house. I don't know. We have talked about it and we've talked about all of our options and we've sort of gone around in circles 1,000 times on what we could realistically make happen. I think with the equity in his house that he's built over a couple of years and plus my savings, we could realistically combine that and buy something that we could both live in. But then it does sort of circle back to it's still going to be really expensive for us week to week. And we're both do we want to be tied down to somewhere for 30 years, absolutely grinding it out, working really hard. And I know the boomer generation, that's what they did and they worked so hard and they're so amazing and rah, rah, rah. I get it. But I don't necessarily want that life for myself, So it's but then it's on the other hand, it's what other options do I have?
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of options. But anyway.
Where are you sitting with it now? Because it does seem quite really tricky where it's there's really cheap ones if you go really far away or buy something really, really below average and probably not even livable with some of your videos I've seen. Or do you not do it and rent and travel around and do other stuff? It is tricky.
It's really tricky. I've been, even places that are still out of my price range, there was this house that we went and saw out in Armadale that was uninhabitable. It smelled, I can't even explain how bad it smelled. It smelled like genuine corpse without being too disgusting. Turns out that someone did die in there and it was sitting in the laundry area for ages.
What? Wow. Come on.
Yeah, it was so putrid. That house was, I think it was listed for 550, which is already out of my price range, but you'd have to put 100 grand into it at least to make it livable. So even places that in areas that I don't want to live in, Armadale's quite far out and it's kind of got the crime out there.
It's not
still
good in Perth, but the Armadale in Melbourne is really fancy and nice, which throws me every time.
Oh.
Yeah, because lots of people are wow, Armadale. And I'm what? Armadale? But different Armadales.
Different Armadales.
Yeah.
Same as my parents live in Singleton in WA, but there's also Singleton, New South Wales, which is a real mining town.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So when I was oh yeah, moving back to Singleton, people were oh, are your parents miners? Anyway.
No, going to the beach.
Yeah. So even places in areas that I don't want to live in that are uninhabitable, I still cannot afford. And I'm someone who I feel I've got a decent job. I earn a decent amount.
Yeah, earning over 100 grand.
Yeah. Which is I think probably like 10 years ago, I would have been like, to know that I'm on that now, I would be like, whoa.
You're a millionaire soon.
Yeah. I'll be like, I'm Gina Reinhart, genuinely. Like,
Look, we're getting there.
move over, Gina. Like, Brooke's coming. Yeah, so it's kind of, it's a bit depressing, but I try not to like ruminate on it too much. I sort of hold out a bit of blind hope that in the, I don't know, in the coming 12 months or 18 months or several years, I don't know, something crazy is going to happen and then I'll slide in. So
how do you remain so positive and hopeful?
I definitely have a lot of depressing moments.
Okay. Words of wisdom.
But I think like that's the really fun part about the channel that we've been building, because we have sort of been able to have like a bit of fun with it, and we're sort of like making light. Our like videos are steeped in like the depressing facts of the housing crisis in Australia and Perth specifically, but we do sort of have a bit of a muck around with it as well. And so that sort of like puts a bit of a lighter spin on it. And when we see somewhere on realestate.com that's completely run down, it looks rank and it's like got a crazy price tag on it, we don't sit there and go like, oh, that's like awful. We go,
Content.
yes, content.
We're going.
We're like, we've struck gold, and then we call the agent, we're like, can we come out and blah, blah, blah. So I think that's like, you know, been a benefit of having the channel, because we've sort of been able to make a bit of light of it as well. And the other side of it is like, it has just started making us a tiny bit of money.
Yay, it's exciting.
So that's really exciting. I mean, and I'm talking like it's made us about $150.
Wow.
So we're not exactly rolling in it. Yeah, so the fact that it could become like a genuine pathway to being like a bit more of a side hustle, and then maybe that can go towards my deposit and that can sort of, you know, help down the track.
It's definitely a good option, because like side hustles don't have to be forever as well. I think some people look at them like, oh, I don't want to work 2 jobs forever, which is fair enough. But yeah, trying to create something that could make you more money is good.
I think so. And it gives us a bit more purpose. Which sounds a bit depressing, but it like, you know, injects a bit more sort of like we're working towards like something together, and it's like a bigger picture sort of thing for us as well.
It's fun to make it a game. Like, how bad can we find a house? Yeah. I've seen you've been asking Leanne for some money as well, your mum. How's that been going?
All right. So far unsuccessful. But she's sort of like, I feel, even though what's coming out of her mouth is a strong no, in my heart, I feel like we're getting to a yes.
Yeah, I feel like she was like, in a few months maybe, I saw something like that.
Exactly.
Like, she was definitely not, she was like leading you on almost.
That's exactly right. And so when I come back to her in a few months, I'll be like, I feel like you wanted this. So I feel like as much as she's saying like, no, Brooke, you know, you've got to do it on your own, blah, 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 I do sort of think, there's work to be done. And I reckon like, give it a few months and I think Leanne might sort of like turn a corner. Mm-hmm. If not, I'll have to start working on my dad a bit harder.
Yeah. How do you feel with like the prospect of borrowing from your parents? 'Cause I know some people have a bit of an issue with it and they're like, oh, I want to do it on my own. Do you have any of those feelings?
I consider myself a very strong independent lady, and I would love so much to be able to do it on my own. But I just think realistically, I need help. Like, I think any of my like friends or my peers my age who have been able to buy something have had parents help them out, or by one way or another, they've come into some sort of inheritance, and that sort of allowed them to have that leg up and get into the property market. So I just think, I honestly just like don't see any other way unless I, you know, save for another 10 years, 10 years or something.
Yeah.
But I also heard this other horror story of, and I'm sure, you know, it's not reflective of absolutely everybody, but it did put the fear of God in me. There was this 36-year-old lady who had finally like saved up this huge deposit. She had like 100 grand that she saved, and she worked really hard, and she went to the bank and said like, I'm finally ready to like, you know, get this mortgage. And they said no, because I think it was because she didn't have enough like time left in her life to like be able to pay it off. Like she wasn't going to be working for long enough to be able to make all of the
36
repayments.
66, yeah, that's a bit brutal.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So anyway, I don't know all the ins and outs of what happened there, but it's definitely, now I'm like, oh God, I do actually need to make some moves pretty soon, because I don't want to be like locked out because of my age as well.
Yeah. And I've seen some people, like you can get 40-year mortgages now, which I think is terrifying. But yeah, crazy being like going into the bank if you're 40 and be like, oh, by the time you're 70, maybe you'll be debt free. Maybe. Yeah. Scary world.
And then like, what are you going to, then you like, mortgage repayments are so high, interest rates have been so high. How are you affording that plus anything else that you want to enjoy in your life? Yeah. The fear of like not being able to enjoy my life at the same time as having a mortgage terrifies me as well.
Do you think that still puts you off a little bit now from kind of going ahead with everything?
Definitely. There was a place that I was really keen on, not too far out of the city, had an inspection yesterday. We didn't end up going because we were busy with other stuff, but I think it was like 470 grand and it was a really nice modern place. And I was like, wow, this is actually like, it was great. And like the strata fees were like not too high, definitely like manageable. But then like I did some calculations and I was like, wow, that's going to cost me like still probably $700 a week. And man, I'm not going to be able to enjoy my life on that. Like, and yeah, obviously like if my boyfriend's living there, he'll help probably a little bit with the repayments, but oh, you never know.
Yeah.
That might be his freeloading era.
You might be the sugar mum in the situation if you move close to the city for him.
I want to avoid that at all costs though. Yes. And yeah, so even though I was like, wow, that's actually could be like a really great option, I'm still looking at $700 a week and that's going to, God, I'd probably have to sell my car or something.
Oh, not the car.
Like, you know, so it's like, yeah, I could do it, but I would have to sacrifice so much.
Yeah.
And people will say to me, you have to, you know, sacrifice to get ahead, which I agree with to an extent, but I don't want to have a life that's not worth living at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's always where I sort of come back to.
Such a hard spot to be in, and hard when rentals are getting so expensive as well. Like in my mind, just from like living in Melbourne, 700 doesn't seem that much just because Melbourne rentals are so expensive. So it's crazy.
I think our vacancy rate is like 0.6% or something. And yeah, it's so competitive. Like I am living with my parents obviously, but the relationship is straining a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. And so I've been assessing my options. It's like if I'm going to have a rental, I may as well be paying off a mortgage.
Yeah.
It's like the price difference is not that much.
Then it's like the fear of not being able to leave. I do have like commitment issues slightly as well, where I it was like 5 years ago now, I bought an apartment. It was just under $300,000, which was great. But I wanted it to be very cheap. And then I liked just being able to move around. And that was like great timing for me. But I still feel that a little bit too, where it's like, oh, I don't want a massive mortgage, even if I bought somewhere to live in. So not for me, but hard.
Wow, under 300 grand.
Yeah, 295, 2 bedrooms.
Wow,
yeah.
Good on you.
Crazy. Just good timing because it was like during COVID, I still had a job because I worked in healthcare back then.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were too scared to buy. So perfect timing.
You were like,
yeah.
I'll go for it.
Yes.
Good on you. Yeah, that was like such a smart choice from you at the time.
Yeah, I'm just glad I had the job that I did. And I knew that I'd keep my job.
Was that your first place that you invested in?
Yeah, so I've just bought a second. So I will have 2 soon. But yeah, it was the first one and I've had it for 5 years and I'm about to settle in a few days on one in Queensland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've heard Queensland is like a great place to invest.
Yeah,
not that I'm an expert.
Yeah, not specific advice, but people are excited about the Olympics and infrastructure and stuff going on. Yeah.
And you thought, oh, I've got to get my toe in.
Yeah, I was thinking about buying in Victoria because it's like almost like houses in Perth are almost the same price as houses in Victoria, which just makes no sense. Like Melbourne and Perth shouldn't cost the same just from, no. So hopefully Melbourne, not hopefully, but like Melbourne should go up soon because Perth just can't be this expensive in comparison.
It's out of control. Like it's had like, I think the biggest like hike in property prices out of anywhere else or like on par with Adelaide or something like that. It's like Perth is beautiful, but it's not like
it's far away.
It's so far away, and it's not your Melbournes and it's not your Sydneys. Like,
no,
there's a lot of differences there still. So
unless you do FIFO, you're not making as much money here compared to Sydney and Melbourne.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have thought about doing the FIFO thing, but I'm like, I just don't think I could hack it.
I've been watching it fascinates me. My dad works FIFO. And I like watching the TikToks of people do like the day in the life, get ready with me, but it looks insane.
I'm obsessed
with
those.
I'm watching all the weird jobs you can get. Not weird. Weird to me because I'm a healthcare person.
You can be like a massive dump truck driver.
Yeah, or like having the big pipes where they're like spraying concrete all over and you're like, wow, that looks fun. Until you see them with like flies all over their face.
Yeah, and it's like 12-hour days for like 2 weeks at a time. It's like that is genuine, quite hard work.
Yeah, and I don't like being too hot and sweaty all day, every day.
You definitely would
just,
be.
Like, the culture seems a bit much as well.
Yeah, and a lot of men.
Yeah.
Like I think the culture's better these days, but yeah, I've heard some horror stories, like a lot of too many men.
Would you do it for like 6 months?
I've thought about it. Yeah, I've thought about it as like a quick like cash grab for sure. It would be like a long time without my dog though.
Yeah,
and I think he would really suffer.
Yeah, so you have to stay because he's a bit weak as it is.
He's not. He needs all the support he can get. So yeah, but I don't know. Yeah. You know, never say never. I would never say a complete no on
You're exploring
almost
options.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
See how desperate I get.
Yeah. No.
Maybe we could go like film some episodes up there and then we could say, do you know what? Not for me, but you know, could test it out.
That'd be a great series. Is it worth it?
I'll have to give Gina a call.
Give me a really high paying job, please.
Can I I come and do some tests?
Yeah.
I can't see her shooing me away.
No, definitely not. I had some friends who quit support work to do it, and they were doing like a program with BHP for women to go and drive trucks because apparently they are better truck drivers.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I think we're just better drivers generally.
Oh, yes, big calls, but yeah. Maybe not me, but everyone else.
You should have seen the reverse park that I executed down the front here.
Executed, wow, you've got the language.
Honestly, I was like, I hope there are some people watching me
Do you
right
have a
now.
reversing camera?
No,
just in.
Just old
Amazing.
school, just like mirrors and like just precision driving.
I have a little car and I still can't do it.
Well, if you need some tips,
Yeah.
let me
I think I've
know.
gotten lazy because I drive my boyfriend's car in Melbourne and he's got a Tesla with like the cameras and everything and you can't make a
Oh,
mistake. Yeah.
you're spoiled.
But then I come back to here with my little Mazda and I'm like, oh God, you
Yeah.
can really crash this one pretty easily now.
Too much technology does freak me out though. I don't like the beeping and I don't like
Yes.
the camera here. It's too much.
I do like the ones where your blind spot ones. That's good. When I go to indicate and it's like beeping at you that there's a car there.
Oh,
That one I
yeah.
appreciate.
That does feel crucial.
Yeah. But yeah, the other ones where it's like you're just reversing and it's beeping. It's like, no, not for me.
There needs to be a bit of shush on that one.
Yeah. Because we could like turn it down maybe.
If there was a volume button.
Just mute it.
Yes.
Dangerous.
That's what we need. We need to write a letter to Elon and
Yeah. Please turn it
get
off.
some little volume dials around the place.
Do you have like a really fun money tip to end with or a way that you like to save money?
My partner and I, we're both like athletes. We do like triathlons and so
You can be an athlete.
well, like, people just like look at me and they say hurtful things about what type of body I have and they accuse me of not being an athlete because they look, anyway, it's a whole other thing. But we eat a lot of food. We are big eaters in our household. Anyway, so I've got this whole system of how I do our like grocery shopping and I basically do every fortnight I'll go to Woolies and once a month at Woolies you can get 10% off your entire like grocery spend. And so I will get like the things like the sauces and the like, I don't know, the tempeh, which is like a vegan protein. And, you know, the things that I can't buy at Aldi, I will basically do.
The cranberry sauce. There's no cranberry sauce at Aldi.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like they don't have coconut milk there either. I was looking yesterday. I couldn't
There's
find
lots of
coconut
like
milk.
the ingredients you think they have that they don't.
Yeah. Anyway, so everything that you can't buy at Aldi, I'll get every fortnight at Woolies and I'll like sort of like stock up. So it's like a fair amount. And then obviously like the more you spend, like the bigger the discount you get on the rewards card. So then you get the discount and you also get a whole hunk of like rewards points, which I have converting into Qantas points.
Perfect.
Which I'm very proud of myself. I've got up to like 20,000 or something Qantas points now.
Oh, amazing. Just from groceries.
Groceries and then like a bunch of other things. Like I do my BP rewards into Qantas points. I do my, I'm going a bit on a tangent now, but I get Qantas points on my internet, on my phone bill, on my health insurance, groceries, petrol. So pretty much anywhere that I can get points. Even my running shoes.
Oh, do you buy them like on Qantas Marketplace or something?
No, you can at Athlete's Foot, they have a partnership with
Really?
Qantas. And so
Crazy.
you can get your Qantas points on your running shoes.
Amazing.
And running shoes are so expensive. So I'm like, I may as well be getting points. Anyway, so circling back to the groceries. So yeah, that's my fortnightly thing. And then I do like a weekly shop at Aldi. And Aldi is like, I think, man, like probably not half as expensive as Coles and Woolies, but you save so much money at Aldi. And so yeah, that's basically it. Oh, and I don't have like a coin that I put into the thing. I recently invested in a little token.
Oh, the keychain thing.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm feeling quite swish with my trolley access now. And so I can
Amazing.
just go in and load it up. And yeah, I absolutely love Aldi. So do all my shopping there and yeah, get points for when I shop at Woolies.
Perfect. Be organised. Use the 10% off and shop at Aldi.
Thanks.
I like it.
Exactly, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. If anyone wants to come see your fun house tours, where will they find you?
Okay, our main thing is on YouTube and you can find us at Brooke Moves. And then we are on Instagram as well under the same name.
Yay. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. If you found this episode helpful, please rate us 5 stars, write a review, or share with a friend. If you're new to investing, make sure to listen to our first 10 episodes. Follow us at Get Rich Slow Club or Tash at Tash Invests or me at Anna Christina.
This show was brought to you by Natasha Etchman, who is an authorised representative 1299881 of Guideway Financial Services, AFSL 420367, and Perla, who is an authorised representative 1281540 of Sanlam Private Wealth, AFSL 337927. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to investing. So make sure you check out our financial services guides and read the product disclosure statement and target market determination for any investments you're considering. See our show notes for more info.